We're live.
All right. Welcome to the very first official episode of Jack and Michael's Ragtag Reviews.
Yep.
The very first artist we have is going to be Little Skies.
Can you talk?
Shut the fuck up. All right.
Yep, sip that monster.
Suck my dick.
Bet.
Anyways, so Little Skies, also known as Demetrius Christopher Foose.
Cringe ass name.
Shut the fuck up. Was born August 4th, 1998. He was not born in, but he is from Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. And he is currently signed to All We Got via Atlantic Records. He has three mixtapes, two albums and a mixtape. And he has a few mixtapes before that, but we're not doing those. We're just doing the three main ones on the streaming platforms. And these three go in order of Life of a Dark Rose, Shelby, and Unbothered.
Yeah. Pretty much. Alright, so is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So do we just hop right into it?
Sure. Let's get into a bit of Life of a Dark Rose.
Alright, so basically this album was mid as fuck. 6.5 out of 10.
I agree. It was a pretty mid Little Skies album. I get like a 7.5, maybe a 7.
It was just like the whole album sounded the same, in my opinion. Like,
it could have all been one long song and it would have been the same.
Exactly.
Like, it could have been the same vibe. The only songs that switch it up were like Lust.
Yeah.
And a few other songs.
Let's talk about Lust, though. Like, that's a banger.
It is a certified banger. And the music video is a banger, too, if you haven't watched it.
Okay, I'll make sure to watch that. I won't. But yeah, I really liked Signs of Jealousy. That's definitely my top song from Loader.
Yeah, Loader, my favorite song is easily Welcome to the Rodeo, which is the intro song. The song just goes hard as fuck for no reason. But a close second has to be probably Lettuce Sandwich.
Lettuce Sandwich is the worst song on the album. No question in my mind.
I don't know. It's something about it is different.
It's about a lettuce fucking sandwich.
Yeah, he's getting that bread. Don't understand the metaphor.
I don't, but I don't want to either. The song is called Lettuce Sandwich.
There's also a song called Garden on here, which was dog shit.
Okay, Garden was dog shit, but like that one at least makes sense. Like gardens are like peaceful or whatever. A fucking lettuce sandwich is just
it's the sign of the struggle.
Because he's eating hood food?
Yes, exactly. He's eating the broke boy food.
But I feel like there's so many better ways to resemble poverty than a fucking lettuce wrap with lettuce in it.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a banger. So we're going to go through each of the songs and do a quick recap. Welcome to the Rodeo. Couple words for you.
Good, I guess. It was good. It was a good intro.
Yeah, good intro. I agree. Good intro. Hype as fuck. Sets the mood of the album pretty well. Or mixtape, technically. The Click.
Not super memorable, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was definitely like in the mid tier of the album for me.
Yeah.
Now, one of the singles coming off of this, which blew Little Skies up, Red Roses featuring Landon Cube.
So I think Red Roses is a little overrated, but
Yeah.
it's a good song, but I think it gets a little too much hype, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. That out of all songs to blow them up, I don't know why they chose Red Roses, but
Yeah.
it has a good music video, which blew it up by Lyrical Lemonade, so that's always fun. Then we have Lust.
Lust is so good. That's such a fucking banger.
It is a banger. It's something you definitely have to add to your playlist, no cap.
Yeah. That one definitely deserves the hype it gets.
Yeah, it gets a lot of hype. It's probably the third most popular off this mixtape.
Yeah.
Behind Red Roses, and this is the last song we're going to talk about coming up. The next one's Cloudy Skies.
Cloudy Skies?
To be honest, I barely remember this one, and I
Yeah.
listened to this album or mixtape at least 100 times, and I barely remember this one. So I guess that tells you how not memorable it is.
Yeah.
Signs of Jealousy, though.
Yes, that is my favorite song in the album. The way that he, like what I said earlier, like I gave this a 6.5 out of 10 because the whole album kind of sounds the same, but Signs of Jealousy switches it up for me in a really nice way, and I really like his flow.
Yeah, his voice on that definitely is not as monotone in most of his songs, which is a big complaint for most people, is he sounds very like he doesn't want to do it, but he's doing it anyways type shit. But, yeah. Next up is Big Money. This one I vaguely remember.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was that one? Cloudy Skies and Big Money.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them.
Just big money on me, I'ma run it up. Yeah, it's kind of just a basic song.
Yeah.
Tell My Haters is a pretty decent song in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's definitely upper mid tier of the album.
I agree.
Out of the 14 songs, I put it at like 6th, maybe, like almost down the middle.
Yeah.
Boss Up.
Boss Up was really good. I like that.
Yeah, Boss Up was pretty good. Next up is my least favorite song on the album, Garden.
Garden was ass.
Fuck this song.
I agree. I don't think it was the worst one because I think Lettuce Sandwich was worse. But yeah, it was not good.
Then we have your least favorite and my second favorite, Lettuce Sandwich.
Yeah, I just it's fucking sandwich.
You don't vibe with the sandwich?
I do not vibe with the sandwich.
You're not rocking with Lettuce Sandwich?
Okay, Brad.
I don't know. That song, the beat and the vibe on it is pretty good to me. I guess that's why I like it, but I guess to each their own. Strictly Business. I remember this song pretty vaguely as well.
Yeah.
But I remember it being decent for what it was. Like, it was decent.
I'm just gonna have to agree with you because I do not remember it.
Kill For You. This is probably the most underrated on the album for me.
Maybe.
Like,
I think Signs of Jealousy is underrated. I've never heard of it before.
You've never heard of it before? Oh, it's pretty big for Lil Sky standards.
What, Signs of Jealousy?
It has a big music video for it. And then the last one is probably the arguably fan favorite track off the album, is Nowadays featuring Landon Cube. Just a solid song.
Yeah, I agree. It was really good.
Definitely, I like Landon Cube's part a lot more than Sky's for some reason.
Yeah.
But it's still a fire song. Can't go wrong with it. And the music video is also a banger. It's Lyrical Lemonade again, which those guys has a lot of work with. So, all right, but that's Loader. Now we're moving on to his first actual album because that last one was his 4th mixtape. Like I said, we're not covering the previous ones like Good Grades, Bad Habits 1 and 2 and Alone, as that's just a lot of discography and some of them are hard to find. So we're just sticking to the main ones on streaming services. But next up is Shelby. This released March 1st, 2019. I remember this drop. I was so hyped for it. And we have the lead single, which is also the first track, I.
Wait, are we not gonna give a rating first?
Oh yeah, the rating.
Dumbass.
Shut up. Okay, what's your rating of a Shelby?
9 out of 10.
I give it like a 9, yeah, as well.
Yeah.
Like all around, this album has no skips for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it has some downsides to it, but it's so little that it's like it's not a problem that you can sit there and listen to the song. You don't have to skip it.
Yeah.
But getting to the tracks,
I just personally how with Life of a Dark Rose, when I listened to that, I was like, that was okay. And then I was expecting kind of the same thing with Shelby, but I was definitely taken by surprise. It was very he switched it up a lot and in all the right ways.
Yeah, he definitely changed up his style a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he even did the more melodic stuff and sang a little bit on it, which was definitely a big surprise for me. I fuck with the singing Skies. I don't know if you do.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Even though he needs the auto-tune, I still think it helps, is his voice out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a good voice. That's one thing you can't knock Skies for. He may sound monotone, but he's got a decent voice. So you can't say, his voice gets boring because he has the chance to bring it up, but sometimes he just doesn't. All right. But getting into the track list, we've got the lead single, also has a Lyrical Lemonade music video, I.
I is my favorite song. I know it's the most popular, but
It's the most popular for a reason. It's a fucking banger.
It's so good. I love that song.
The only knock I have on it is it does the hook a bit too much. Like, it does it like 4 or 5 times, which is a bit obnoxious, but at the same time, it's a good fucking hook.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to fault it for that. It's a really good track, good beat. The voice fits very well on the track and the beat. Just overall, solid-ass first track. The next one, we've got the first feature that's not Landon Cube ever on his albums, which is Bad Girls featuring Gucci Mane.
Yeah, I think Lil Skies had a really nice verse, and Gucci Mane definitely kept up with him.
Yeah, Gucci Mane definitely didn't disappoint. I'm not a big Gucci Mane fan.
Yeah, me either. But
I don't really listen to him that often, but when I do, it's not disappointing. But this definitely put a good impression because his entrance was one of the best. He said, "Woke up in a big old white mansion. I make Obama moves." Like, that's fire as fuck. Can't hate on that. So overall, a good track. Probably in my top 3, maybe.
Mm.
Maybe in my top 5, because there's a lot of bangers on here. Next one we have Breathe, which was one of the singing style guys.
Yeah, Breathe was really good. I liked it.
It took me a few listens to get it on the first listen of the album that I did, which was 2 years ago now, roughly. But I definitely started to fuck with it a lot more, and it definitely grew on me. The Singing Skies hit the simp spot really well for me, so
yeah,
it's a good song to listen to when you're in your feels and stuff, or you're feeling that sort of way. Now we've got the sequel to his arguably most famous song, Nowadays Part 2, featuring Landon Cube.
I really liked it. I don't know about you, but I thought it was definitely a good follow-up to Nowadays.
The funny thing is I think the beat for this is actually just Nowadays beat, but in reverse.
It is?
Yeah. That's why it sounds so awkward, because the beat does not sound like a regular beat at all. If you listen to it, it just sounds really awkward. But I mean, it's not a bad song to me. It's definitely one of my least favorite off the album, though. I feel like Landon Cube doesn't do enough on the track. He kind of lacks when normally he kind of either stays up with Skies or in fact carries the track with his singing.
Yeah.
And it's a bit long. It's 3 minutes and 42 seconds, which is a bit longer than most Sky songs, but I think the Landon Cube part could have been cut out, and I would have been fine with the song the way it was, but that's whatever. Track 5, Flooded. This is the shortest song on the album, and probably one of the most hype ones.
Yeah, Flooded was really good. I like the way that it sounded.
Yeah. It hits the melody just right, the rhymes are good, it's short, sweet, to the point, no extra space, because normally, I don't know if you notice on those Sky songs, there's like 20 seconds after his last hook or verse stops and there's just a beat.
Mm-hmm.
This one doesn't have that. It has like 5 seconds of beat after everything, which means he didn't waste any of the beat, so I really like that. Next up is Blue Strips.
Blue Strips is one of my favorites off the album.
Blue Strips is arguably one of my favorites too. The hook is really obnoxiously catchy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
It grows on you the more you listen to it, and I don't know. It's not a bad song, but it's addicting, which is what makes it not a great song to me. Is it makes it so addicting because I listen to this shit constantly. So
yeah,
it's very addicting. But next up, we have the last feature of the album, Stop the Madness, featuring Gunna.
That was okay.
I personally think this was one of my favorites, if not my favorite track off this.
Really?
I really liked how Gunna didn't disappoint me this time, because Gunna is one of my least favorite artists of all time.
Yeah.
And hearing him actually come up with a verse that matches, if not succeeds Sky's verse is really impressive. And the hook is not bad either. Like, the hook is pretty good. But the verse is a bit hit or miss, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's not an awful song by any means. I don't think any of these songs on this lister. Awful.
No, definitely not. There's no skips, but I don't think
You wouldn't find yourself coming back listening to Stop the Madness every once in a while. It's like, if it's there, it's there. But you wouldn't skip it because it's not a bad song.
right.
Next up is probably one of my favorites. I'm going to say this for a lot of the tracks on here because a lot of these are my favorite Skies songs. Okay for Now.
It was good. It was good.
Definitely, I'd give it like a 7.5 on the song scale, maybe an 8.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorites just because the melodic side of Skies comes out, and it's like that's my favorite part of Skies, definitely. Besides his hype part, it's definitely like where he shines the most is when he's trying to be melodic.
Yeah.
But next up is another sort of melodic song, When I'm Wasted.
I don't remember this song. Fuck.
Yeah, this one is kind of just thrown in there. It's I don't want to say your calls when I'm wasted.
Yeah.
Raging.
I mean, if I don't remember it, it probably wasn't one of my favorites first or second listen. So, I mean, it was okay. I guess probably my least favorite on the album.
It's definitely not a really liked song. I like it. Like, I like every song off this album, so I have a bit of a bias, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not my favorite. But I can vibe to it. Next up is probably one of my favorites off the album, top 3, Mansion.
Mansion was good.
Mansion was
absolutely
really,
fire.
yeah, it was really fucking fire. There's not really much to say about it because it's mainly a hook, but, you know, the verse slaps, the hook slaps, everything about it just goes off. So you can't really be like, oh, he didn't do anything on this. No, he carried the fuck out of that beat.
Yeah.
And it was really good. Next up is Through the Motions.
Through the Motions was really good. I really liked hearing kind of the softer side of Skies.
Yeah, the soft side of Skies, which comes up in 2 tracks, the most soft part of the album.
Yeah.
Which I think you know the song that we're going to talk about in 2 songs. But next up is probably one of my least favorites off the album, Highs and Lows.
I agree. The song didn't really do much for me.
Yeah, the beat is just lackluster, and Sky's vocals are kind of not very great. So I'm not going to fault it because it's not a bad song. It's just not a great song.
Yeah.
It's like mid at best. But still, once again, not a skip for me. This is my favorite off the album, I think. Name in the Sand.
Name in the Sand was...
surprisingly good.
Yeah. That was such a good song.
Yeah, like... You look at it and you're like Skies is being a simp right now, but
Yeah.
it's still good. And the music video is really good for it too. If you've never watched it, which I'm assuming you haven't.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's a good music video, and this was also a single I think before the album came out, but I didn't hear it before the album came out, so that's always fun.
Yeah.
And next up is a good closer track, No Rainy Days.
Yeah. No Rainy Days really wraps up the album well, in my opinion.
Yeah, the one fault I'll give it is some of the auto-tune when he does his vocals and he drops down a little bit.
Yeah.
It kind of gets in a weird, like, type.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely know what you're talking about, but I enjoyed that.
You enjoyed that part?
Yeah.
It's hit or miss for some people. I just didn't like it as much. Like, No Rainy Days, like the
Yeah.
drop in notes. I didn't really mess with it that much. But
All right, now we got Unbothered, right?
this is the most recent Lil Skies album. Came out
Last month, right?
January 22nd, 2021. So this is the most recent album. And this took a long time to come out.
Yeah, in like 2 years.
2 years almost. I think a year and 9 months is what it took. And it didn't disappoint, but it didn't blow me away.
I thought it was really good. I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
I'd give it like a 7.5 as well. Definitely not my favorite album by Lil Skies, or mixtape, or whatever you want to call it. It's an album, but
Yeah.
not my favorite project of Lil Skies is. And I'm a big Skies fanboy, so for me to say it's not my favorite means something. Some of the songs are really not great,
Yeah.
Especially the number 3 track, which we'll get into in just a second. Holy shit, it's not good. Yeah, Jack knows what I'm talking about when I say it's not good.
It's so bad.
Yeah. But overall, definitely not. It was worth the wait for me.
Yeah.
But I would have been happier if he put some of the old snippets he had. I don't know if you've heard the snippet Ice Water. I keep talking about that a lot. That's like my favorite snippet of Skies ever.
Yeah.
And if he put that on here or put it on the deluxe version, that would have been so good. But
is there a deluxe coming from, Bobby?
knowing the albums the way they work now, most likely.
Yeah.
Because I think Uzi started the deluxe trend. So there's probably going to be a deluxe. If not, it's okay. I can wait. But
yeah,
I can't wait 2 years for another Skies album. Definitely going to have to be like a year or less this time. But first track we're going to get into is a good opener, Fade Away.
Yeah, it was definitely good.
I liked it
Yeah.
a lot. Like, on my first listen, I was like, okay, this is sort of a vibe. Definitely not much to talk about with it. It's kind of a generic Skies song.
Yeah.
But it's not bad by any means.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, generic Sky song is like, it's kind of a big theme, but it's not a bad thing. Like, it doesn't make it stand out, but it doesn't make it a bad song either.
yes, I think Skies at his generic is not bad at all. Like, some artists you have really generic versions of, like Gunna will be generic half the time.
Yeah.
Someone like Nav, fuck Nav. Yeah, the brown boy himself. His music is so generic, and it's like you can't fuck with it. But with Skies, it's kind of like his voice at least kind of carries himself very well.
Yeah.
Next up is probably my favorite off the album, Take 5.
Take 5 was really good.
Yeah, I fuck with the chorus a lot.
Yeah.
The high notes he hits, which aren't really high, but they're sort of high notes, definitely got me excited when I first heard it. I was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really fucking good. But other than that, there's not really much to say about it. Just the hook is what really got me.
Yeah.
And the chorus just took me away. I was like, oh yeah, I'm ascending type shit. Now this is the stinker of the album.
Oh god.
This is Excite Me, with the first feature being Wiz fucking Khalifa.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. I know before like getting into it that you said it was terrible, but I was.
You weren't expecting it to be bad.
Yeah, but fuck, Wiz Khalifa just
Kills it.
Yeah.
His voice on it just sounds like angelic in the worst way possible. Like, they did a song together back in 2018 or 19 called For Real For Real.
Yeah.
And it was Wiz Khalifa's song featuring Lil Skies, and they did great on it. Like, if you've never listened to it, I would recommend. It's a hype song.
Yeah.
This is definitely phoned in like a verse. He was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna record this at like 1 a.m. in the stew, freestyle the bitch. Like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this, bro. Sorry. But next up is a single that came out way before the album came out, Having My Way, featuring Lil Durk. And I don't listen to Lil Durk, but he kind of did go hard on this track.
Yeah. Lil Durk that's pretty good, and I think he kind of shined on this song.
Yeah, I feel like the entrance he had, where he took off Drip Too Hard, and then he said, drip too hard, don't stand too close, fuck around, get hit up with this K.
Yeah.
That's pretty fire. Like, that, the way he came in definitely was great. And the chorus is really good as well. And the verse actually is not bad. Not the greatest of all time, but it's not bad.
Right.
So it has replayability. And it was a single for a reason. It was able to stand alone on itself, not having to be in an album. Remember when that came out, it was spring of last year, spring of 2020.
Yeah, I was up for a while.
Yeah, I remember being in class when it dropped, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know who the fuck Lil Durk is, but this is about to go hard. Because I was uncultured back then and didn't know who the fuck Lil Durk was. But that's not my problem. Anyways, next up is arguably the fans' least favorite song, Okay.
I mean, the song title says what it is. It was okay.
It's definitely something where it takes a few listens to get accustomed to me.
Yeah.
I think people don't fuck with the reverb on it as much as they should, because it is definitely like really echoey and doesn't sound very well produced, but it's not bad. It's a freestyle song. It's a freestyle. So you can't really say, oh, it sounds like he freestyled it. Well, because he did.
Yeah.
And it's not half bad. I wouldn't recommend he do it again, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't mind it. But I don't like the fact it took up a spot on this album.
Yeah.
Because every Skies album is 14 songs long.
Yeah.
If he just removed OK and had a 13-song album, I would have been, okay, this is like an 8. But with OK, it dragged it down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like fillers in albums.
Yeah, this album had 4 singles, I think.
Mm-hmm.
4 singles. And that's only 10 new songs. So you're looking about it. A third of the album is stuff you've heard before, or in your case, you haven't because you haven't listened to the Skies, which is okay. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing. But the singles he did drop weren't bad. Next up is Dead Broke. This one I fondly remember, or vaguely remember.
Yeah.
This has a music video for it as well.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it does. Came out the same night the album came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not bad, for sure. It's definitely mid, but Sky's mid is not like trash. It's like, I'll listen to it, but if I didn't have to, I wouldn't.
But like, I don't know. I don't remember this song like at all. And I feel like if I don't remember it, then
it didn't stand out and it wasn't very great.
Yeah.
But next up is On Sight.
On Sight is so good. I fucking love that song.
Yeah, I love the song and the music video. I remember when this music video came out, everybody was like, "Oh, that's adorable" because he has a son in it. Forgot to mention that he has a son, which is crazy, and his son's almost a year old.
But like the chorus goes crazy on that song.
Yeah, it's hype, but it's mellow at the same time.
Exactly.
It achieves a balance where it's like, okay, this is definitely a fire song. And I'm not mad that took up a spot on the album at all.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good song to put in there. I'm just glad I didn't put like Light Beam, if you ever heard that song.
Nah.
Yeah, if you put Light Beam on there, it's garbage. Don't listen to it. No Cap, a rapper from Alabama, ruins it. And I'm glad he didn't put Red and Yellow on this either.
Oh my god, I fucking hate Red and Yellow.
I'm not like against Red and Yellow strongly. I just think it was phoned in really hard. Like it was for Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
so,
but I feel like he just like
he didn't
got a
try.
He got a call from the Fast and Furious team or whatever, and it was like, all right, give me 5 minutes, and then sent that song in.
Yeah, the hook definitely is really fucking not good.
Yeah. Like
Lil Sky standards, his hooks are always like A1. So when you're looking at Red and Yellow, where he's like, my car is red and my diamond's yellow, like
Limezone.com type shit.
Yeah, it's not even creative. Like he said, you are not my man's, you're not my fellow.
Yeah.
Which I can't rock with that, bro. I'm sorry. I love you to death, but no. Next up is the longest song on the album. Funnily enough, Think Deep, Don't Sink.
I do not remember this song.
I do, but I don't remember it standing out to me.
Yeah, like because when I listened to this, I've only listened to it once. I was kind of like just going through it.
Weren't really like taking mental notes or anything. So you were just you were looking at the stuff that popped out at you, which I understand because with this album there is a few things that don't pop out, but what does pop out is really good. Don't get me wrong.
I definitely agree. The last song. Oh my god.
Yeah, the last song we'll get to that in about 5 songs. Next up is going to be Red Wine and Jodeci, probably arguably one of my favorites off this album.
Really?
It's more of the simp song.
Yeah.
And I just like it. The hook is really good. Can't fault him for being a simp because he does have baby mama issues.
Yeah.
Which is awful, But they're back together, I think, from what I remember seeing.
Yeah, I have genuinely no idea. All I know is that his kid is fucking adorable.
Yeah, baby Kai is really fucking adorable. You have to give him credit for that. He made a cute fucking kid.
Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't get all the face tattoos like his dad did. Because Skies is a genuinely decent-looking human being.
Right.
But with the face tattoos, you can't really see anything, so it's kind of like...
Yeah.
Just ruined a perfect face for no reason. And another thing that people like about Skies is his hair. Because he has, like, many hairstyles. He has braids, he has the fro. I forget the other names for hairstyles because, I'm not black and I don't know black hairstyles like that. But... He's got various hairstyles, and fans will be like, I miss this old hair skies.
Yeah.
Because each sort of hair represents a new sort of skies. It's kind of weird. Like, for this album, he did the fro.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a new version of skies from Shelby. When in Shelby, he did like, I don't remember what type of hair he had, but it wasn't a fro. I think it was more of the braids. But
that's the skies that I remember the most is him with braids. That's one I see the most.
Yeah, for sure. It's the one you see the most in like his videos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is one of my least favorites off the album, Locked Up.
I don't remember this song either.
The one where he has the funny voice. Fell on my back. I had heart attack.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't as bad as Excite Me, but...
It's definitely not great or good, in my opinion. It was good up until he did the funny voice. Like...
funny voice.
Yeah, it was so good until he did that. And that just brought the song down to like a 5 for me.
Yeah.
I didn't fuck with Locked Up, but... If you do fuck with the voice, I'm not going to blame you because it's like Cardi. It's an acquired taste.
Did you say Hardee's?
Cardi.
Oh, Cardi.
And Hardee's. Fuck Hardee's. Yeah, it's an acquired taste, so I get that. Next one is one of my favorites off of this. Trust Nobody.
Yeah, this one definitely.
He brought out his like storytelling capabilities, which he doesn't really do a lot.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the first songs he's done storytelling on his King Von type shit. And it did not disappoint me.
Yeah,
I thought it was very solid. Overall, probably top 3 for me on the album. Definitely.
Yeah. Not
counting this song, because I count the song as a single, because this came out so long before the album, but this is Riot.
Riot? Okay, I actually did hear Riot before the album dropped, and I have always liked it. It's a good song.
It's a fire song for sure. The music video is also fire. A lot of Sky's music videos are really good. I don't think he has a really bad one besides Light Beam.
Yeah. And
Light Beam is a song I recommend nobody listen to. Good God.
Everybody go listen to Light Beam.
The God, it's not good. It sounds like it's been freestyle as well, but you can't really fault him for that because he has a kid, so he's got to take care of his kid first. I don't think he's caring about music right now. He's got a whole kid, so can't really be mad at him. But next up, this I think this is my favorite off the album for sure. Sky High.
Sky High?
Yeah.
I would not say it was my favorite. It was like maybe halfway through the album.
Like a strong 7 or 6 or an 8, somewhere in there.
More like a 7, like a low 7. It was pretty good, but
I think it was like a 9 for me.
Yeah.
I just like his vocal inflections on it. Definitely. Part of Skies that you rarely get to see, and seeing it, it's definitely not bad at all.
Yeah. And
the next one is your personal favorite and one of my favorites that we thought was at first, but it's MHMMM. This is the last track. This is the closing track. This was a fire closer.
Yes, this is my favorite Sky song. Just it's such a different Sky song. Like it's so far from the generic Skies, but it's so good. Like the beat, just the like his flow. It's like hype, but it's not super high. It's like this perfect mix. It's so good.
It's definitely a vibe for sure, and it's one of my favorites Sky songs of all time.
Yeah. Not
getting into his singles, which we'll cover some of them if you've heard some of them, but if you haven't heard them, we're not going to go over them.
All right.
So definitely a strong closer. Probably, if not one of my favorite closers of the albums.
Nowadays was good.
Nowadays was good, but it was overplayed for me.
Yeah.
No Rainy Days was good. I think that was probably my second favorite, and then is the first.
Yeah.
And as far as openers go, I think I's the best opener.
I agree.
Yeah, I's definitely the best opener. Welcome to the Rodeo is a strong second, though.
Yeah.
I fuck with Welcome to the Rodeo so much. It's like I've listened to that song at least 200 times. That's what Google Play Music said, so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
But Fade Away is definitely a third. And to no fault of its own, it's just not as good as the other two.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as for singles, he's got a very varied amount of singles. Some of them are from albums, but one of them that's not is No Rest.
I have not heard No Rest.
It's a good one. I recommend it. It's 2018 Little Skies, if I'm not mistaken. So it's an older Skies, but it's definitely not bad.
Yeah.
at all. Creeping, featuring Rich the Kid.
I have not heard that song, but all I know is that I do not like
Rich the Kid. Yeah, he doesn't ruin the song, but he doesn't make it better. So
Yeah,
it's definitely not my favorite, but it's not a bad song at all.
Mm.
Next up is Pop Star, which I think you've heard.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah, and the cover art for this is fire. The Chip Skylark, Fairly Odd Parents art style.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. It's a very good one, but it's very mid for me. Like middle of the pack. Definitely could have been way better.
Yeah.
I Know You featuring Young Pinch.
I have never heard of Young Pinch or that song. That's crazy.
Definitely a good song. I recommend it.
Who the fuck is Young Pinch though?
Never heard of him until that song, so I couldn't tell you. I'm also skipping over Saber and Alma. I've never heard of these songs before. And I'm a Lil Skies diehard fan, so I'll have to listen to those after the podcast and see if they're any good or not.
Yeah.
Next up is probably my second favorite single of all time of his, World Rage. It's really good.
Fuck, I wish I could listen to those singles now.
Yeah, his singles go really hard. Ops Want Me Dead. You've probably heard this on my story a few times.
Yeah, I have.
And it's a bang. It's probably my favorite single of his that wasn't on an album.
I mean, I would assume so because it's always on your
Stories
story.
and stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's there for a reason. It's a really relatable song,
Mm-hmm.
especially like in the time period I was going through. It was really relatable, so it was like, yeah, fuck it. Next up is Going Off, which you might have heard in Clinton's car a few times.
Probably.
This came out in the summer of 2019. Definitely a really fire track for sure. But you can't really put opinions on it. But
Yeah, I mean, Summer of 19 had some really good songs come out of it.
yeah,
Like, Ransom.
God, Lil Tecca is like a 2-hit wonder. But I don't hate Lil Tecca though.
No.
Don't get me wrong. He's good, but I don't listen to him all the time. Next up is Magic, which was actually, funnily enough, on Madden.
It was?
Yeah, it was on the Madden soundtrack for
Which one?
2019, I think. Madden 20.
Yeah, I know don't they hire a lot of like hip hop artists for Madden?
Yeah, they do. But this year they kind of went like with unknown artists that really aren't good. But
Wasn't Jack Harlow on?
he's on this one.
Yeah.
He made a song specifically for Madden called Automatic, which is a good song. Check it out. But it's censored, so you can't really find an uncensored version, sadly. Next one is probably the fans' least favorite singles. More Money, More Ice.
I mean, it just sounds generic. I don't know.
The beat is not generic. I'll play a snippet of it.
Oh yeah, that is definitely. Yeah, don't want to get shut down.
You don't want to get DMCA strike by Atlantic Records over here. And the next few singles have been on the album, like Having My Way featuring Lil Durk, solid song.
Yeah.
Riot, solid song.
Ryan is so good.
Okay, decent song. On Site, really good.
Yeah.
Light Beam featuring No Cap, Miley's favorite. That's not Red and Yellow. It did not deliver at all. Like when it dropped, I was like, okay, this is gonna be heat. I listened to it and I was like, nah, fam, this ain't it. Put the phone down. He phoned that one in for sure. So did No Cap. No Cap did not deliver on that, and I think he's facing jail charges. No Cap right now.
Why, for that song?
Probably. You should be fucking locked up for that shit, bro. That was an offense to the human race. And speaking of another offense to the human race, Red and Yellow from
Oh my god.
Road to Fast 9,
That
the
song is
mixtape.
so bad. I've even heard it because when it came out, this dude came over to my house and he was like, "New Little Sky song," and then he played that shit, and I had to go to the fucking ear doctor next week. That shit was so ass.
It's really effective at getting stuck in your head, though.
I mean, it's kind of catchy, but like,
It's not good.
It's
It's
not
a
good.
bad catchy for sure.
my car is red and
My
my
name
name
is
is yellow.
It's like cookie cutter rhymes, man. I can't fuck with it.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're gonna go off the script a little bit and cover one of his SoundCloud songs. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Sir. Yes, sir.
This is from the Alone mixtape, which is probably my favorite mixtape that isn't on streaming services.
Yeah, it's only on SoundCloud if you want to check it out. It's called
Don't Love Me.
Yeah.
And this is definitely one of the most fire songs I've listened to.
Yeah, it is.
This got him on the Lil Skies wave. I put him onto this.
Yes.
Like a couple weeks ago.
It is fucking fire.
It's fire. That whole mixtape is fire. I do recommend checking it out.
Yeah.
I think it has like one skip for me, and that's it out of 10 songs.
What's the mixtape called?
Alone.
That's right.
And his other mixtapes are called Good Grade and Bad Habits 1 and 2, Alone, and then you have Loader. Loader's his fourth and final mixtape that he's ever made.
Yeah.
But overall, what do you think of Lil Skies as an artist?
I was definitely taken by surprise because when I listened to Loader, that's exactly what I was expecting. You know, average. But once I listened to Shelby, my opinion on him changed a lot because that's a really good album, and I had already heard a few songs off Unbothered from like being in the car and shit.
Yeah.
And listening to it again and in full this time was definitely not a bad experience because I always thought Lil Skies was kind of bad, but he's really not, and I definitely recommend checking him out.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I remember when Loader came out. I hopped onto Lil Skies a bit late, but I listened to him before he was popping. Mm-hmm. But I started fanboying him when Loader came out. But I listened to stuff like the Snapback song, which is like 2014 Lil Skies, like before any face tattoos or tattoos at all.
Yeah.
And he was good back then, even though it was a corny song. He was really good back then at rhyming. And you know, seeing him come up from basically his dad used to be a rapper called Big Skies, which is where he gets the Lil from. Mm-hmm. So he's not one of like the generic Lil rappers. He's he gets it from somewhere.
Yeah.
But seeing him come up and change his style, he used to be more of an old school type rapper with Good Grades and Bad Habits 1 and 2 being kind of like more old school, like boom bap 90s type rap. He changed into the modern era pretty well. He adapted very well to his surroundings, and overall is a really solid artist. There's a few bumps here and there, which no artist is perfect. Every artist has their hiccups, and Skies has definitely had a few of them.
Yeah.
But overall, I'd give him like an 8.25, 8.5 out of 10 as an artist as a whole. And as a person, he's a great person. Mm-hmm. Like if you look at his Instagram and stuff, always talking about his son and posting his son and stuff, you know, being a good father, which is great. Because normally you think with artists they'd be like deadbeat dads focusing on their music and shit.
Yeah.
But with him, Cardi, yeah. But yeah, he shows off the good side of him, and he rarely ever has like bad publicity moments. I think the only time where he got really upset was when fans were leaking his music.
Oh yeah, I remember you showing me that video.
Yeah, just the leaking music shit has to stop.
Yeah.
But other than that, he keeps a good public figure. Stays out of trouble. Doesn't really have any drama. There is drama though with Lil Skies right now about the song called G Code featuring Cameron Hauser.
Yeah. And
Cameron took him off the song.
Damn.
Which makes no sense because Lil Skies is way bigger than Cameron Hauser because nobody's ever heard of fucking Cameron Hauser.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense. And he also has a new song coming out called Whipski featuring Snot, or it's Snot Song featuring Skies, and I've heard snippets of that, and definitely I'm excited for that. But
yeah,
overall, great artist. Definitely check him out. And I think that should wrap everything up.
Yep. So that's it for episode 1, and don't forget to tune in next week where we talk about Playboy Cardi.
That's gonna